What's up guys? So in this video I want to talk about the main mistakes that I've made in the beginning of my trading career. So let's actually get right into it. Just before I start, as always, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that, and you can also leave a like under the video. I would surely appreciate it. So what are the main mistakes that I've made in my trading career? So let's actually get started with the first one, which is I thought I would become a millionaire in less than 1 year. Believe it or not, that was my first thought. I thought that trading, that was so easy. I could make money from my phone, just look at the chart, take a few trades here and there, make thousand and eventually millions, and have Rolexes and Ferraris and a villa on the beach and all of that. That was my conception of trading. You know why? Because I listened to the wrong people. At first in my trading journey, I was not learning from the right people. I was watching YouTube videos that were obviously fake, showing off a fake lifestyle with fake people, with fake profit. Everything was pretty much fake. And I was watching that, I was consuming that. And at first, I would say probably in my first 1 or 2 months, I believed that it was actually true and that it was how traders were actually living, and that, everybody could actually make a $1 million, from trading. That was just my thought process. At that time, I was pretty young. If you guys know a little bit about my story, well, you know that I started trading when I was 15 years old. All right, so I think it puts you in context of my mindset at that time and what was it. But yeah, so I had the complete wrong misconception of trading. I thought that I would become a millionaire. I thought that I was the next Wolf of Wall Street. I remember one day I was on my phone, I decided to place a trade. A few hours later, I checked in the MT4 app on my phone, and I was just up $20. And I was like, oh wow, I'm the next Wolf of Wall Street. I'm the next millionaire. I will conquer the world, right? That was my mindset when I first began trading. So obviously, that was the wrong mindset, that was the wrong approach, but that was my main and my first mistake actually of my career. The second mistake that I made, which goes along the first one as well, is that I didn't listen to the right people. I learned from, as I said, online, trying to, research things, read on certain websites, watch certain videos. That was just not the right way to learn. The best way, in my opinion, to get started in trading and to really become good at this is to find yourself a mentor. Whether that mentor is a personal mentor or an online mentor, or going to a seminar, or getting a book, or buying a course, whatever it is, the best way to learn, in my opinion, is to actually find someone who is a real trader, who has proven their results, who can teach you how to trade and help you in your journey. To me, that's the best way to learn, simply because, it's like in anything in life. If you want to become a good basketball player, well, the best thing you could do is go play with Michael Jordan, or, other any athlete in that industry, for example, right? So, it's the same thing in anything. If you want to become good at this, well, you need to learn from good traders. I mean, it's really that simple. Now, when I say good traders, it's important not to confuse with online marketers, right? People who, as I said at the beginning, want to sell you a dream lifestyle and everything is pretty much fake. So it's important to do your research in order to find a good mentor that can actually teach you, simply because this will speed up the whole process, right? It's not impossible to become, a good trader by learning, just by yourself. People have done this in history, right? It's not impossible, but it's not very likely to happen. I mean, you are optimizing the probabilities of you succeeding when you actually have a mentor, simply because this mentor can guide you, this mentor can show you what to do, what not to do, and you will just, reach your full potential much faster than you would if you were alone. So that was my second mistake. At first, I didn't have a mentor, and I was not really searching for one neither, but then I quickly realized that it was the wrong approach, and I decided to change that. But in the first few months of my career, I had no mentor, and that was a huge mistake. The third mistake that I made was thinking that trading was not that hard, but it is hard. It's not easy. I mean, if it was easy, we would all be millionaires, right? Like, we would all be super successful trader, making all this money, living a crazy lifestyle. But it's not that, right? Like, that's not the reality of the situation. Trading is hard. It's hard on a psychological level. It's hard on a technical level to understand those charts. It's hard on like everything. Like, I mean, it's not easy, right? Like, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. So when you have a wrong conception of what trading really is, and when you think that it's easy, well, you tend to not take it as serious as you should, because you think that you don't need to put in that much work to get good results. You understand? And so that was a little mistake that I made as well at the beginning of my career. I didn't realize how hard it is, and therefore there were times where I would not put that much work into my trading because I thought that I was already a good trader, when in fact I was very far away from that. You understand? So it's really important to understand that trading is hard, and that if you want to become a good trader, it will take tremendous amount of work, patience, skill, and just work, basically, right? So you need to have this idea in mind, so that when you actually start studying the charts and start to get into trading, well, you already understand that it's not easy, and that will push you to study more. This will motivate you to put in more hours than most people, and this will eventually lead you to trading success. The fourth mistake that I made in my journey was to not understand how to manage my risk. There were times where I would go in a trade and risk, for example, 10%, right? I mean, that's crazy. You never want to risk that much on one single trade, right? Like, you should keep a very, very small risk management. For example, 0.5%, 1%, 2%, maybe a little more if you are more, risk oriented, but personally I would not go higher than that. So my risk now is much lower than what it was at the beginning, and that was a huge mistake because I just ended up losing a lot of money. If you guys know a little bit once again about my story, I've already made a video about this, but like, I've had at one point in my trading where I lost nearly 50% of my whole capital, right? 50% of my whole capital, and that was not a very fun situation to be in, and I put myself in this situation. You understand? Like, it's not the fault of the market, it's not because of my mentor, it's not because of my analysis, it's because of myself. I put myself in this situation by not understanding the importance of managing my risk. Right? I thought I was the greatest trader, as I said before. I thought I knew everything. I thought, I would be the next millionaire, and I just ended up risking way too much money than what I should in, one single trade. And after that, well, I just ended up losing a great sum of money. So it's really important to understand that you need to manage your risk. Your first task as a trader is to protect your capital, because if you don't have capital, you cannot trade. Right? Like, people are like, Anthony, why it's so important to manage my risk and to protect my capital? Well, if you don't have capital, you cannot trade. It's game over, right? You are dead, literally, in the word. Like, you are dead in your trading. So you need to manage your capital, and you need to manage your risk in order for your capital to not die, basically, so that you can still trade in the future. So that's the importance of risk management, and that is something that I really neglected at the beginning of my trading. I'm glad that I learned this not too late in my career, because I'm a fast learner by nature. I learn things pretty fast normally. So when I had that loss, I was like, oh fuck, yeah, I missed a little bit here, and I need to readjust myself to get better. That is what I did, and it worked perfectly after that. So yeah, risk management was another big mistake. The fifth and the last mistake of this video: at the beginning of my journey, I tried to learn so many different techniques, so many different strategies about trading that all contradicted themselves together, and at the end, well, I was just there not really understanding what I was doing. So I didn't focus on one trading style. I was trying to do everything, and therefore where I did nothing, right? So I was not enough focused to the point where I was just trying to research everything. And it's not bad really to research everything, but if it gets to the point where you have so much information and you try to use all that information together, even though it should not be used together because those are different trading style and different strategies, well, that is obviously not good. So at the beginning I thought like that, if I were taking all that information and like putting all the strategies together, I would have like the master strategy, right? Like the best of the best of the best, but that's obviously not how it works. So that was my 5th mistake that I made. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Those were the 5 main mistakes that I've made. I already also made another video, in the past about other mistakes that I made in my journey, but I wanted to do another one here, just to share even more with you guys, because I believe that, I've made those mistakes personally, but the goal of this video was to share with you those mistakes so that you don't have to make those mistakes, right? So don't do these 5 things. Basically, do not do them. I'm telling you, it will not work and you will save a lot of time if you can avoid these mistakes. So that was the goal of this video. So if you guys like this video, well, you can share it. I would truly appreciate it, and you can also leave a like under it. That would mean a lot to me. All right, so on that, take care, trade with care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.